Gents, how we doing?
No bad.
All right, Gary.
Yeah, I know. Do you know that? I was actually sitting doing my research Monday night and nothing dodgy.
I hope not.
I first had your cell phone, George, November 2020. That's how long ago it was.
Over 3 years ago?
Aye.
Jeez,
No way.
Over 3 years
I
ago.
thought that was only like
So how long have you been doing this now then?
Just under 4.
Jeez,
So you were, I think you were about episode 20, 21. I think it was still in the midst of COVID and you couldn't really do much and it was all audio. But I was looking back and I'm like, that's like into 4 years now, this year.
Ah, well done. Many are you up to? What number's this one?
110 this will be.
Brilliant.
110 and yours is still in the top 10.
Aye. I don't think this
There you
one
go.
will be.
This will be
the bottom
So
10.
that's it, no pressure. No pressure at all.
This will be the bottom 10.
So when I first had you on, obviously we spoke about how the concept of MegaTech became a company, how you've run it, and then I spoke to you about getting the boys in and talk about how it runs as a family business. And a lot of people are obsessed with how family businesses work because they'll look at it from outside. And I was looking at stats. I think it was, when you look at the UK, 72% of family businesses fail inside 3 years.
Aye.
Are ran with like a family setup, which I found quite surprising given the size of like some companies.
It's interesting. If you're saying that we last spoke about 3-4 years ago, they would have been kids then.
Aye.
Logan would just have left school, no long left school.
Aye.
James wouldn't have long joined us.
36 I was in.
James would have no long joined us at that time. So it'll be interesting to see what they think and how far the company's came since then as well, Gary.
Well, this is what I was going to ask, obviously, but before I come to both of you, see from your point of view, did you ever see the family getting involved? Was that in the plan at all for you, or were you just running it as a business and seeing where it went?
Gary, I listen to all the folk who come on your podcast and they'll get these 5-year plans and models and I had no plan. I started the company up hoping that if I'd done 2 or 3 stations a year, I'd be alright. We now, I'd hate to think, last year I think we'd done about 12, 14 platforms or something. Early on, James's dad, James, joined me. So my brother joined us, which was great. It took the pressure off of me. It wasn't a plan, it just happened. And then James left uni with his business degree. I took him on in the summer. We took him on in the summer for a summer job until he found a job that he wanted to do. And I very quickly realised, hold on, he can do a lot for the company.
Yeah.
I'd love to say it was planned, but no, it just developed. And the way James has come in and runs the company now, I would love to say it was planned, but it wasn't. Logan used to work with us at weekends, at Christmas and all that, in between all his studies. He went studying to the left school, finally just finished his degree in the middle of last year and joined us full time. So, and again, that now takes pressure off of James. James's sister Rebecca works with us as well, takes pressure off of him. It's all developed. And Stevie's the only one that's no a role, but they call him Uncle Stevie, Stevie Mallon. Stevie's my mate. 35 years. So he joined us, he was with us early on, but he's the only one that's not a robot. They call him Uncle Spam, they call him Uncle Stevie.
May as well be.
He is family, he is.
What about both of you? When did you see yourselves or did you see yourselves
Working for a company that installs railway platforms made of polystyrene? I never saw that when I was 18. 7 years I've been with the company now, but it was just what my Uncle George was saying. I went to Cali, got my business degree, came out and I was sort of just done my dissertation and that, so I was like, I'm just getting a wee summer job working a restaurant for a bit and relax. And then my Uncle George, I was in my grandma's house once and he just said, do you fancy coming down for a couple of shifts? And that was it. And 7 years later, I'm still here.
He's still only done it before.
You wish you could go back, sit in that living room and just don't ask him nothing, man.
Our living room's the blame for a lot of them. But even Logan, I don't know if how it developed for him either.
Wasn't really. I left school when I was 16 and I didn't like school, but I done my hires and stuff because I knew I wanted to study things that I enjoyed. Left school, started studying HNC business, finished that, but didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed certain aspects of it, but certain aspects I never. And then I really always enjoyed PE and stuff at school, went to the gym a lot and that, so I wanted to do fitness, health and exercise. Done that HND for 2 years. But while I was studying, my dad said, like, why don't you come down and do a few shifts on the railway with us and get yourself some money to go out and do what you want. So started doing that, but then I'm 16. It was me, my dad, my Uncle James and James at the time. I was 16 and then you're down Melksham and all these. Where was the first one I done?
Melksham's away down near Stonehenge.
Right, okay.
So you're away down that way, you're away down there,
But I'm
west
16,
of England.
doing, like, having to manage guys who are like
into the deep end.
40 Romanians and all that, telling you they're going to drop 4-ton slabs in your head. So you quickly learn.
Gary, you'll learn his
Quickly
management
learn, aye.
talking techniques have come on a wee bit.
Just a wee bit. But I always enjoyed sport and stuff, but I enjoyed working when we did, and then finished. And to be fair, my dad said, like, it's up to you, like, do what you want, but I enjoyed it and it's too good an opportunity not to pursue. But now I've finished, I'm full time in MegaTech, I've got a lot more responsibility, which I enjoy. So that's just kind of progressed as I went on.
I mean, I need to know how it was coming in at 16 to that environment, because most people that I work in finance, and most people at 16 would crumble in that environment, or going in to deal with experienced like workers and folk that will know your age as well and try and jump on it. But how
the Scottish accent helps, to be fair.
You think you're a crackpot?
That definitely helps. You start talking to them and they've not got a clue what you're saying, so that helps. But just like had support for my dad, James, and if I'd always try my best to have answers, but if I didn't know anything, I wasn't shy on saying I don't know, but I'll find out for you. And I've just like situations like that, you learn from it and how to deal with people differently. That's a big thing I find in management, is the way you would deal with one person is completely different to the way you would deal with somebody else, and just try to get everybody on board with your way of thinking and working.
I think it comes down to confidence in yourself, I think, as well, doesn't it? Obviously, as you do more stuff and you're more like knowledgeable on things, then I don't know, people sort of sense like weakness. I started when I was 21, 22, and obviously it's not the same as 16, but still I've came out of uni and it was a totally new world I was in, and I was the same at times where people kind of almost try and rip the arse out you a wee bit or something. But as you get more confident in yourself and what you're doing, then people just start to respect you more. I remember one time, you learn how to avoid things escalating in your management, but I remember one time we were doing a job and a guy was trying to sort of get away earlier. He would have killed the whole job, everything would have stopped and dozens of people wouldn't have been able to do it, and I'm this wee guy, pure fresh faced out of uni, don't know what's going on. And I'm like, no, you're not doing that. And the guy looked us right in the eye and he just went, you want to go to war with me?
He was Welsh, the guy was Welsh.
I'm assessing the situation and I'm like, this guy's going to fling me about like an empty jacket here, man. But you've got to sort of stand your ground, and then over time you...
What did you say to him? Thought you're all right.
What a day.
Fruits early dark, she's later on, right? You hold your ground, and then it was sorted. But then after that, then you kind of, I don't know, there's a wee bit of experience in that, and then the next time something like that happens, you can maybe sense it coming, and you avoid it getting to that stage or whatever.
Do you think your degree, I'm doing a business degree, then out in Napier, obviously it's different for the practical side of work, but do you think that's helped you at all from kind of going into that world of business? Don't tell me no, here and sharp my dreams.
Made a massive difference. To be fair, I think it's just uni's another thing, confidence wise. Like coming from Dumbarton or the Vale, you're just, I don't know, when I went to uni, it opens your mind to a lot of things, meeting loads of different people, different cultures and all that, so then you can deal with different stuff. So going to uni itself was a big deal, or made a big difference for me. But the actual, to be honest, the stuff on the course now in my job role, it's becoming more relevant because I've kind of progressed and I'm looking at different stuff. But at first it didn't really do a lot, to be honest. I think uni, sometimes I sort of feel like uni's when you're doing your driving lessons or something, you learn some stuff, but 80% it doesn't actually materialise until you've got that working experience or whatever.
You've no assignments for a guy offering you on a site or asking
What about you, Gary? You've had the experience now of working. You're probably getting the benefit of doing your degree. Are you?
Do you know something that just coming to the end of the second year now, and I'm glad I've done it at the age I'm. Rather than if I'd have done it at 18, 19, I'd have been kicked out after 6 months and just sacked it off completely. But now I'm sitting there and there's like 18, 19 year olds in my class and I'm like, fucking shut up, man, listen. I'm trying to listen to this. I could be dead in 5 years. But it's good, see if you then going back into work, there is things, when you deal with projects and stuff like that, there is things that tie in, but you're absolutely right, there is bits that you look at and you're like, nobody tells you about how to deal with these situations.
When we're working, we'll be dealing with things, and then this is where James's degree comes in and Logan's. James will say to me, see the way that came out, that's called, and he'll give me somebody's theory or something. I'm like, I'm not interested, but this is how, but he knows the science behind it or the management behind it, but he's actually seeing the practical side of it taking effect in sites. Bear in mind, we're working in railway sites. Normally, it's when the trains are off, which isn't when it's a nice sunny day. It's at night or at Christmas or at New Year or at Easter. And normally it's the back of beyond when it's pouring down with rain and it's freezing. Your management skills have got to be tremendous. They've got to be tremendous because, as James is saying, everybody's crucial. Everybody's crucial on a job, whether it's an engineer, a guy driving a machine, the guy, I don't know, whatever one it is, the guy sending the materials up, whatever it is, the guy on the gate, they're all crucial. If one of them goes away, it all breaks down. And as long as they're right at the start, you've got to treat them all differently. You've got to treat them all different. We're lucky because of the age and range and sex of our business. Rebecca's working with us as well. Rebecca's our admin manager, James's sister, my niece Logan's cousin. She's our admin manager, deals with all our audits and all that. I said, but she's also a banksman. When we're working on sites, she's down there directing grown men or getting up our materials delivered up in forklifts and telehandlers to make sure our work runs efficiently.
She sweetens them up for us.
She sweetens them up for us. It's obviously all different. She doesn't get slabs wrapped in her head or anything like that way, guys.
Nah.
But it's just, we're lucky with the age and range and sex of the business.
I suppose as well, if you're in that environment of working at stations, and I'm assuming you've obviously got tight deadlines to get things done, if you are all there on site, you've probably got about a million things going through your head at any one point, and it just takes one wee thing to knock it off course, or somebody to say, I'm going to go early, and the whole thing just ends up completely knackered.
That's where I think I've probably grown up a wee bit, because like you say, there's loads happening, but one wee daft thing, sometimes you can lose your head easy because you're stressed. But now I think you can step back a wee bit, and like, for example, people saying, oh, that's me away, lads, and you're saying you might be working till 12 and he's saying he's away at 8. So it's how you deal with that as well. But it's all, I get a lot of help from my dad every day who works with us, really, to be honest. But if I don't really know how to deal with somebody, then I can ask for advice on how I should deal with it.
I think, see, for degrees and stuff or whatever, like, it helps in certain situations, but see the thing we always talk about, like, see at the end of the day, you're just dealing with people. So see as time goes on, I think you sort of realise, see if you're just sound and you're like reinforcing that with people, then most of the time there's no really any issues. Like, I think that's the talk about, like, management techniques, which that's a thing obviously, but see, like, if you're sound,
just be sound.
What?
I said that's all.
Just be sound, aye.
But I suppose it's having the confidence to date,
There's no hard to
Just be yourself. What we are doing, you're just saying there, on the rail, everything's crucial. It's the same in any business. We don't, because everything's so tight these days, and people don't carry spare. They don't carry spare materials. They don't carry spare people. So every person's crucial. If you're in a restaurant and the chef doesn't turn up, that's it. If these are the kind of things, if the cleaner doesn't come in and the toilets aren't cleaned, that sets everything back. So it's the same in any industry these days. It's everybody's crucial. Nobody carries spare capacity.
No,
we're just a wee bit different in that we're all related. With Uncle Stevie, with Stevie Mallon here, it's all family. So it's maybe a wee bit tighter, but it's just the same.
See, with that unit though, of it all being family, does that add more pressure or does that make it easier because you all know each other that wee bit better, or does that?
It's probably easier, and I think personally you can just be honest, and we all know each other well enough to, maybe you're not going to like what they're going to say, but you're not going to be a dick about it. Basically, you're just being honest. Plenty of times we've had wee fallouts and all that, but then it's ultimately because you care, and you care that wee bit extra because it is your family you're letting down ultimately if something goes wrong. So
I think it's a bit of both. Like, it makes it easier because there's no day it's easier to communicate with than your family, but at the same time there's no day you want to let down less than your family, so it's easier, but the pressure, it definitely adds more pressure, but because it's easier then you don't like
balances it out a bit.
I think that's the thing most people are probably curious about when they look at family businesses. It's like, how do they react if they fall out or something, or if you're all on a site and you's all fall out or you's are all disagreeing about something, you still got to go on with it. When it's somebody you don't know, you're just like, fucking whatever, I'll deal with it later. But when it's somebody you know, it's sitting in your head for however long you're doing that job before you speak to them again. But how do you deal with that side of it?
Long drive back to the digs after that shift.
Middle of nowhere in silence.
Gary, what we do is, whatever you're right, we'll be working a place called Oakengates. We're away down the West Midlands last Christmas Day, Boxing Day, we're working 48 hours solid. We do 12-hour shifts officially, but you're working long shifts, battered down with rain, freezing, the worst rain they've had in 25 years. Hassle, we get the job done. After every job, the fiveys go for a bite to eat and a beer, and everything's sorted. A few beers, everything's sorted. We'll learn for the job. We'll learn, and next time Logan's saying if somebody if a guy driving a telehandler doesn't turn up, they've all got their telehandler tickets. If somebody doesn't turn up, we've got the chainsaw ticket. We've got contingency there for that. So you put those things in place, but any issues are dealt with. And when you've had a few beers,
you're up dancing 20 minutes later.
You're up dancing, laughing and joking, and you're all, nobody better interfere with the family again. That's the way it is. It's like we can slag each other as much as we want, but nobody's allowed to slag party. So it's the same as any family. We're not any different.
I'm interested, obviously, the 3 different ages here, so probably 3 different answers, but what's been the most, I don't want to say the worst thing, but what's been the most challenging thing that you've went through since you joined? And obviously for you, since you've had the company, but
come back to me. I think I love this.
I'll come back to you. You know why? All right.
He's got a few.
Most challenging thing for me, probably not just the fact that it's them. The most challenging thing for anybody who's their company. I'm listening to all the boys, Chris at Box Fresh, even who set it up. The funeral undertaker one. These guys who have all, it was a family business that he was in and developed. It's when it's you and it's your baby. The hardest thing for any business is letting that go and trusting other people to then take it a bit further, diluting your responsibility, diluting your authority. That's hard. When it's family, it was probably easier. It might be more difficult with people at times. So the hardest part for me is letting go of my baby, trusting them. And you've got to, because, all right, when somebody first comes and James will say to me, how do you do this? I'm saying James because he was the first one, then Logan and then Rebecca. Stevie's always done what Stevie does with us. He runs the operations side. I've never really interfered with that because he knows more than me and what he's doing. But when they've come in and James is asking something, I'm thinking, you know what, I could do that 5 times quicker myself. But what's the old phrase about
teach a man to fish?
Give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish, you'll feed him forever. And you've got to do that. So take that bit longer. And what I've also, and you say what's the worst part, I'm probably answering your next question before you even answer it, is the best part is, see when you do let the leash go or you let go, they do it differently. They do it differently, but it doesn't mean it's not right. James especially, when he first came in, the way he deals with emails, the way he deals with people is different for me, but I love it because I don't want another me. That'd be boring, and it's no. And the same when Logan's comes in, how he deals with it is different from how James deals. Rebecca's just a different kid. She deals with everything completely different, and it's brilliant. With sexist says maybe because you're a female, certainly do think women have got a different way of dealing with things. Why you see women on doors as bouncers and all that, they're more capable of defusing things rather
situations.
Then what was it? Do you want to go to war? You know what I mean? It's
The Welsh guy.
Rocky Welsh guy. Yeah, that Welsh guy.
She's the one that asked that question.
So that's, for me, I'd say that's the hard. I don't know about you, James.
The hardest thing for me, I don't know what you were saying when you joined when you were 16, but I joined when I was like 22, and it's working away from home was initially the hardest thing, just because you're used to being around your pals, your family and all that. Then you go away, but over time I've got used to it. It's not just getting used to it, it's kind of finding the benefits in it. Like when I come home now, I'm sort of making a point of go and see my pals.
Aye.
And
You're using
just
the time.
using your time, and you probably do better things over
What
the
your
course.
fiancée? You've not mentioned your fiancée. You've got a fiancée? Yeah. Sometimes I see her.
She went for the pals first and all, you've absolutely done it.
But like, even probably if I'm home for a couple of months, spending quality time with my fiancée, you might not actually do much.
Right.
But if you're away and you know I'm going to be back for a week here or 2 weeks there, you might try and sort of pack the week a bit more, and you get better experiences and stuff out of it. That was a hard thing for me. And then just generally the sort of pressure working with family, you don't want to let people down.
Aye.
But it's not a bad thing, because it pushes you on to do better. Like, we always joke about it, my head's a sieve at times. Information just goes out, so to the point I need to read over stuff. But then when it comes to the job, like, everything's sort of, because I've spent all that time doing it, so like, that's because of that pressure of working with family. Like, I put extra effort into.
You get more of a focus
the job,
into because of it.
Mine's probably working away. I to be honest, I don't mind it as much now. That at first, when I was young, everybody's out every weekend, pure FOMO and all that. But now it's the same pish every weekend. So I don't feel like I'm actually missing anything.
Gary, he's got a bird now.
But see, the thing is as well,
He's got a bird now.
see, like most folk that day work, they've probably never had to work away or work away on Christmas Day and Boxing Day and things like that.
That was hard.
Aye,
At first,
I don't know if I could do that.
Now I honestly don't really mind working away, because it kind of balances out, like what James was saying. If you know you're up the road, you do better things with your time, like go and actually do things rather than just farting about up the road. But the main thing I would say, I'm probably alright with it now, but it's just dealing with people who are older than me, because as soon as you walk on a site and you've got the term manager, a guy looks at you and thinks like, I'm not listening to that wee fud's got to
Do you
tell
think
me.
folk challenge you, like, because
you
you're
can
younger?
tell right away.
Not so much now, though.
No, not. But it comes with confidence, as James was saying. Like, if you've got an answer for things and people think, oh, like, he actually does know what he's doing. But at first I struggled because my knowledge was obviously minimal, but I'm trying my best not to let people know that I don't know things and stuff. So I struggled with that probably the most. But now it's probably fine, because I've became more confident and will become more confident.
I think it's that. I still have that, like at 41 in work, where I don't know the answer to things. But I think if
nobody's got all the answers.
if you can give the confidence that you'll get the answer, then I think that gets the buy-in for people when they realise you're
people
not
just
at it.
appreciate the honesty as well. Like, if you make up something and they're like, he's not got a clue what he's talking about, he could have just told me.
Aye, and folk will try and catch you out as well with that. They'll say something to see if you're going to come back to them or no. I'm going to put you in the spot now.
On you go.
What main differences have you noticed with both of them from when they started to now? Because you've obviously seen that journey from sitting, looking in at how they've both grown from coming into the company and where they are now. But from your point of view, how would you look at how both of them sit now?
Night and day.
Aye.
Night and day. It's the two of them is exactly what they've just said themselves. When they first come in, to be fair, when they first come in, they worked. They done all the work. It's the only way I think. Like an old apprentice and mentor. You learn the tools, learn how to do the stuff, learn everything. In the pouring rain, when you're trying to screed sand and you're landing these slabs, and you find out the problems. As Logan says, then when people start slinging excuses at you, you know if they're genuine or no. So from there through to what they're doing now, it's men and boys, Gary. It's men and boys, and as a woman and wee girl, when you're talking about Rebecca, it's confidence, and it's what I've noticed is that they're talking about dealing with people and they're all individuals. So are they. How they deal with people, I love it. Not how I deal with them, but they're their own characters, and it all adds to your company. And I'll tell you, the biggest compliment I can give them and everybody else is when I deal with senior guys in companies and with guys like Network Rail, TFW, Transport for Wales, what they love about our company is the family. I'll tell you, way back when James first joined and Rebecca, we'd get into meetings and James would go, Uncle George, boss. It's like, what day? Right, it's like, do you call him uncle or does it seem a bit? And I went, no, we are a family. Call me uncle. Call me uncle. And Rebecca's uncle, and it promotes the family, I don't know, attitude that we're wanting to promote. And people come back and say they love that. What they also love is the fact that out with our family, we deal with supply chain or suppliers, designers, whatever. They're all mates. The guys that install our platforms are Neil McCallum, boy for Rainton, been pals with him forever. His boys, Alan Black. I know.
The guy who got left out of the LinkedIn post a couple of weeks ago, man.
Alan Black, I meet a mate down in Brighton, so Alan will do it, Gary as well, away down there. Dominic Revo, Links Light. These are guys that they've been with us for day one. They're mates. They're mates, and the guys I'm dealing with, the senior guys in companies say, I love the fact that you're family, but it's not just your family, it's your mates. And family don't let family down, but mates don't let mates down. And that's what I'm saying. My mate, I've got more mates since they joined the company because they're making mates with people at different age, not just a different age. I mean, they're pals with people all ages, but Rebecca's in there as well, and I love it. It's grown and it's grown, and it's thanks to them.
Love that.
That was nice.
That was nice.
I'm glad you forewarned me with that. It took me ages try to think of something that was nice to say about them.
What's the best bit of advice you've ever had, and why? To Ollies.
You go first this time. You always let you go last.
That's so I can steal one of yours.
I know.
Completely not today, but probably is kind of today we work. But it's Neil McCallum.
Could be in.
The best bit of advice I would ever say that sticks in my head is Neil McCallum tell me, mad with it as well, tell me, what the fuck are you wearing? And we were at a dinner. That's what he said to me, and I'm like, you talking about? Look at everybody else, like I'm the same as everybody else. Don't know, just casual stuff. Like I wasn't dressed like a tramp or anything, but he's always suited and booted, isn't he? And he just, I said, like, you're overdressed, and he went, listen, you can never be overdressed. And that is the only bit of advice for knacking the actual strict.
Did you get that your degree?
Pythagoras.
You can never be overdressed.
That's just the only thing. There's obviously loads of bits of advice that don't, not like a pure one statement. But that's the only thing that sticks in my head. So
if you're ever unsure how to dress, go to something, you're better being
overdressed
than underdressed.
But because you can't be overdressed. Although, don't listen to Neely Boy too often. So
why you not wearing a tuxedo tonight?
I'm underdressed tonight. But aye.
Nice. James?
Best one for me, I struggle to think of stuff. See one thing what I think about sometimes was when I was in school and I was in 5th year and I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life. Obviously I said before I didn't see myself building railway platforms out of polystyrene, but I remember I was proper sort of struggling with it at the time, and the careers advisor was floating about, and you were arranging meetings to go with her, asking for how, like, certain pathways and how to do stuff. And I went to this woman in the school, and I genuinely thought she was going to tell me what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And I went into this meeting, she was like, so what are you thinking then? And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And she just sort of went, well, what you want me to tell you? I don't even know who you are. And but she said to us, like, well, I would just recommend go for everything, and the best thing that comes off, then do it. So this was talking about apprenticeships, college, uni. At this time I didn't even see myself going to uni or anything, and I just applied for everything, and then I got into uni, and then I've just kind of carried that on, like the rest well, since 12 years ago or whatever, 10 years ago. But just I always try and do the best thing you can, and if it doesn't come off, then you're not going to be any worse off for it. So That was, I can't think any pure, it's like a statement somebody's told us, but that's something, sometimes I just think back and I think that was a pure random meeting with this woman who I could even tell what she looks like, but she just went, we'll just try and do everything, and the best thing that happens, go for it, fair enough. And
most folks struggle with that though.
Well, when my uncle said to us, like I say, when I left uni, I was just want to relax for a bit, but my uncle said, you want to come down for a few shifts, and it was just a few shifts, but I'm thinking, well, maybe there's an opportunity here.
Aye.
And went for it, and 7 years later I'm still going, like back at uni again now, doing a masters in quantity surveying. Through the work got loads of sort of other, what's the word I'm looking for, accreditations, qualifications, accreditations, I'm talking about. But aye, so that was mine.
That was better than mine, that wasn't it?
Mine, honestly, I don't know if anybody's ever said it to me or I've just realised, but it's never miss an opportunity.
Aye.
Never miss. If you see somebody walking by and you think, is that them? Will I know? Go and do it. Because I think I said to you last time, Gary, there's not too many people regret the things they try. People regret the things they don't try.
Aye.
Will I go for it? Will I go for it? Go for it. The worst, you're going to get a slap in the face, you're going to get a door shut in your face. Go for it. And never miss an opportunity. And I don't be shy. I don't need that being shyness. I know a few boys who are complete opposite. I don't mean, but I mean, it's if you're in doubt, go for it. As James is saying there, will I go for that position? Will I know? Will I go and try? Do it. Honestly, I was on the train coming back from Cardiff the other day. I went from London to Cardiff. I was coming back. You're sitting at a table. I've got the laptop open, and that's the other part I was going to add was, I think I said it to you last time. Talk to people. The biggest bad advice I give anybody: talk to people. I said it last, and I was sitting, laptop open, and it was a couple sitting opposite each other beside the table, and they're obviously what I took. The laptop was shut. I started talking to them. By the way, what I learned just by talking to them, and it was brilliant. But you don't know. I think I said it before, where it leads. Never miss an opportunity and talk to people. Honestly. Simple but the best things.
So true. I think it's, as you said there as well, folk can talk themselves out of going for things, or they'll sit and go, nah, I couldn't do that, without even knowing.
What about you then? I mean, you've been out of education for years, you've got a family, you've got a job, you went for it.
Aye, that's, see for the kind of, for this starting, I just shoot my shot, man, for whatever. Like, you ask people to come on, they say no, you move on to the next one. Like, it's not a... And I think you've, like, 100 odd episodes in, I could probably write 5 books for the stuff I've learned for each person. Like, I think every single podcast, I'll go home and kind of digest it, and you'll be like, wow, just what you've picked up for wee different bits.
Gary, I've been listening to yours from early on. I think the boys have as well, and I love how you've developed, that's obvious. But the guests and the standard, honestly, is... the standard was right through the roof. Now you're back in the basement with us. But it's some of the random ones. The primary teacher,
Holly,
I like the Chiverinos guy.
His enthusiasm. And the same as you're saying, you pick something out of every one of them. A lot of the time, what I realise is it's how people deal with things. The Undertaker guy, I can't remember the name, but how Scott was dealing with the whole. It's still a business, and you've got to do it this way, and how you promote it, how you market it, and the primary. Loved that.
Holly was brilliant.
But you've got the caliber's been brilliant, and I take something for every one of them as well.
But even the Holly one's a prime example. Holly obviously watched the podcast, came to the live show. That was the first time I'd met her.
How was that? The live show?
Brilliant.
Aye.
Terrifying, but brilliant. Didn't sleep for about 3 nights.
Really?
Before it.
Worrying about what?
Visions of me just dying of my arse on stage, mate.
No chance.
But you run through every... But see, usually the same on a job. You run through every bad scenario before you get to the good bit. And then you get to the night and you're like, this is actually alright. And then you get home and you're like, I'm so glad I didn't patch that.
Hydro next year.
Hydro. Aye, me and Hugh.
Aye, go for it. What did James say? Go for Hydro and you'll end up in King Tut's or something.
Pizza Hut.
I'd take King Tut's to be fair.
I know, so would I.
The ideal.
But that was the first time I met Holly. Had a chat with her then. Messaged her a couple of weeks later, and she was in, And for that initial conversation to learning all that about her inside a month, it blows my mind that folk come on here and are open enough to talk about their... Because it's not always brilliant stuff as well. It's like, I like the fact that people come on and go, I have had shite periods, and like business, it doesn't always work. Businesses fail, people fail at what they do, but see the fact you've went out there and had a go at it, nobody can knock you for that. It's alright, people sit and will slaughter folk, but they'll try it. They'll just stay safe and they'll no do it. But
it's because you're not happy with it.
that's it, mate. 100%. Like, as people always say as well, and it pisses me off, man. People message the podcast page and they'll be like, oh, try and get that person on, but they're a big name. And I'm like, what does a big name mean? Well, that big name started, but that big name started at the same position that everybody else did. Like, I don't buy into that big name's any different for Scott running that funeral home. Himself or...
They're not.
So I will literally message MD and just, do you want to come
Hugh
on?
Dallas is a big name.
Aye.
Did you have to go through people get him, or did you just message him?
You? Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
You messaged him and
I had a wee phone call with him,
and what did he say?
And he was asking what it was I done. He's like, send me the link. Never said aye at that point.
Right.
He's like, I'll have a look at it and then I'll phone you. And then he phoned me about 3 days later and he's like, aye, that's fine. Is
that a bigger compliment? Because he's obviously went and listened. And
well, I think people buy into the fact that when somebody comes on, you're not trying to catch them out. You're just trying to talk to them about what they've done, and you're trying to say to that person, I want to hear your story, I want to know what you've done, I want to know the ups and downs of it, because people want to listen to it. And the feedback you get from folk, like, they're all... Like, many times you've messaged me about episodes like that was brilliant.
Aye.
Loads of folk will listen to a random episode. Loads of folk listen to the John Viola one, and I'm like...
That was good.
I'm going to go and try that, why be a football agent. Might not work, but I want to go and... I don't like my job. I want to go and do something different. And you're just like, see if that helps one person, then if it stops tomorrow, it's...
Well, I guarantee you, after this, you know what anybody messaged you saying, oh, listen, they want to go and work in the railway at Oaken Gates and Christmas Day.
Saying, who's that Welsh boy that you used to talk about? This is the other thing I wanted to ask. So obviously, working at railway stations with polystyrene, if I say that to people, they'll be like, what are you talking about? What is the random questions that you get asked by people when you tell them what you do? Because it is a unique...
Aye. The main thing is that the stuff you get with a new telly or a new fridge, and ultimately it is, but it's not the same stuff that ours is like that condensed pretty much. But people just, because it's polystyrene, people can't understand, which is fair enough.
Aye.
I couldn't understand when my dad first started here when I was a wee boy, but people, a lot of the time, people will say, can you set a ton bag of sand on top of that, thinking it's going to blow away. It weighs the same as like a Ford Fiesta or something, so it's not going anywhere.
Aye.
But it's just the conception of it being polystyrene, I would say, is the main confusion people have with it. But it works.
Aye.
So, aye.
I would say similar. Only other thing people sort of, it's more people telling us, like, we'll do a job, might be a platform extension, could be 20 metres, could be 100 metres or something. People will come off the train on a Friday and then they go away for the weekend, go home, come back on the Monday to commute, and there's a 100 metre new railway platform sitting there. So it's more people telling you, like, or if you happen to be on site at that time and people are asking what's going on here, and then that's when the job's done, there's no pressure, you can bump your gums and that, and you start see that big thing that looks like a solid block of concrete, that's actually polystyrene and that, and then they don't really.
They don't care.
They just come to the train away you are.
When's it open?
Gary, probably all the things people think about polystyrene are true.
Aye.
I mean, don't, you're just talking about random things, but we get senior guys in Network Rail and all that who might, that'll no work because polystyrene floats. And we say to them, James, I go to meetings and James says it all the time.
It's a belt for this one.
But a tent would blow away in a windy day. All you do is hold it down. So we take the polystyrene.
That's part of our presentation, and we've not even laughed at it. You're the first guy to ever laugh at it.
Polystyrene does float, so we hold it down. You put a big slab on top of it, which is the finished surface, holds it down. Polystyrene, if you put petrol on it, disintegrates. So you protect it. You clad it with a cementitious board that gives all its protection. Simply, it gives all. So all the perceptions are right. As Logan said, it's a higher density polystyrene we use, which just means it's stronger, but it still weighs nothing. So all the perceptions are right, but we deal with all them. We deal with them all. But the biggest perception, the worst one, everybody thinks because we've got this going and we work hard, and we do work hard, and we work a lot of sacrifices. You hear the boys talking about them away for their pals when they're younger, away for their night suit, and James misses his girlfriend, all he keeps for his fiancée. All these things. I mean, it is, and it is hard work, but we do all right. We do all right out here, and when we are enjoying, work hard, play hard. When we're enjoying ourselves, we enjoying ourselves. But believe me, there was a lot of hard times, I know. There's all the guys you've had on here, guys and girls, but all the guys you've had on, no, it's not just right away you start earning the big bucks and enjoying it. You've got to work hard.
Aye.
So the biggest perception is, oh, you've got a unique product, you must stay well. Aye, but that product wasn't approved for 4 years while we're earning no money and getting it developed. So there's a perception that you're having a great life, but we work hard for it and make a lot of sacrifices.
Social media's got a lot to answer for that.
That
is
folk want instant success with things.
But I mean, I'm talking about like the misconception of I'm probably the worst for it. Like I'm floating about here, there, and everywhere, but you're not putting up like the grim shifts you're doing. But I don't even feel the need to justify it. If somebody's got an opinion, kind of thing, I'm not going to waste my time telling them what I do, because they're probably not going to be interested for a start. But I would say that's probably a big thing to do with the misconception of our work as well.
But even at that though, like, folk might see you doing well for yourself and assume that you've just fell into that and you've not done any work to actually get to it. When you've been at the bottom and worked your way, same for you, you've been at that bottom bit and worked through that
used
whole
to annoy
journey.
me, because I get it. I did get it and I still get it, but now I don't care. If somebody thinks that sound doesn't bother me anymore. It used to, but I'm just like, you're clearly not really enjoying your life, so fair play. Like, annoy somebody else with it. Just doesn't bother me anymore. But
you'll get it. As this has become more successful and this becomes more successful, they'll start finding the wee faults in it and picking the faults rather than concentrating on all the good 100%. Things that you're doing. I mean, the Hugh Dallas one, as an example, brilliant. I listened to it 2 hours coming up the road, but I'll bet you were getting abuse over some bits of that.
I knew leaving here that night, before I'd put a clip out, before anything, that it was that's how it was going to go, but I would accept that for people getting to see that guy talking. It's the same with most, like see most guests that are more well known, people are going to like them, people are going to hate them. You can't win. Like, you can't. If I have a Rangers player on, people will be like, why have you not got a Celtic player? If I've got a Celtic player on, people are like, why is it not a Rangers player? You just can't.
It's just Glasgow, innit?
Aye, and it's the same with the Hugh Dallas one. DMs for Rangers fans, Celtic fans, a St Mirren fan that was talking about a decision for like 22 years ago, and I was like,
remember that one,
mate,
but that was
no idea, man. No idea. But I don't really read it. A lot of the social media stuff. See, like TikTok and all that, I monitor all the comments. So if it's something dodgy, it just goes right away. Don't even read it.
Or you just want all the praise.
Don't go on the comments.
You just want all the praise.
No, you're just blocked. Because I just thought, I used to read them and I think they live in your head. As much as you've got 200 good ones, see that one.
We're probably forced. It doesn't affect our business. We're not. I mean, the guys are. Chris at Box Fresh is big on it. K9 John Allison's in there and on. These guys are great. They know how to do it. Lee Mayer. These guys play it and they do it well. And it's important for them to be seen and be out there. No for us. No, it's no. We're not going to put a TikTok on and walk behind a lamppost and come out with different gear on.
Very good.
That's what he's doing. He's doing that in Spain one time.
Very well for that one.
Some edit, but
Yeah, I've finished my crazy shit.
I was looking well in it. That's what I was
Before you walk behind a lamppost.
I hope you weren't overdressed for it.
No, I was wearing that.
Could never be overdressed.
Could
I was
at the beach. Just in a suit for that.
But in a way, that's good as well, though, because you have done it all behind the scenes and just done your own thing, rather than gone on that path and kind of like, it's even though with the podcast it's a kind of you need it to grow, but at times when you post something you're like, I fucking hate this platform.
You know what you're getting before
You know
post
it's coming back. Like, you can, I've turned off like notification of that. Used to put something on it, like, or your pals is messaging you on WhatsApp. I'm like, fucking hell, have you read the comments? I'm like, nah, mate, and I'm no new.
I'm not going to.
What
Often
about
it was him.
the whole sort of whole such thing as bad publicity? How do you see that? Do you know, see then,
The
see if
Willy
people
Wonka
are even
experience.
giving negative comments, it's still traction and
I
your
think
stuff, is it not?
to a point, but I think when you see some of the stuff people post, like the Hugh Dallas one, for example, like some of the bio, and you're like, fucking hell, mate. And you look at the profile, and like, you've got a picture of you and your kids, man. Sort yourself out, like.
Most of them probably ain't got a picture.
Well, that's the thing as well, and you've got a lot of the times, like the papers and that will just lift stuff and no say it to you. That's annoying, but it's obviously putting it out there. But they'll never ever contact you and say, "Do you mind if I?" Let's see all the Hugh
No even a
Dallas
wee
clips
credit
and
or
all that. Nothing. They'll put a link in for your podcast, but they won't ever come to you and say, "Can you?"
It's just a courtesy thing, is it not?
Nah.
See, talking about bad press, sorry, the Willy Wonka experience.
Oh.
That's current. You seen that?
Even I've kind of seen that.
But even that, I'm thinking there is no such thing as bad press because the premises that it's in is getting its name.
I don't know about the wee bird that's had a meme made out of stone.
Aye, the Scottish Cup
she's agreeing with her. She's in fucking hiding somewhere.
As you would be.
It's hard, man. It is hard. It depends on the. Sometimes you know with the guest that's coming on what's coming. That's why I don't. I used to post beforehand who was coming on, but I don't know because you start to get like folk coming in. I don't know how people knew about the Hugh Dallas one. The Sun had emailed me about a week before it went live, and they're like, "Oh, can we see it before it goes out?" And I was like, "No, you fucking can't." Like, and then obviously they've took 4 or 5 stories and just lifted it. But when you put it out there, it's
Early on, you would say, this person's coming on, do
Aye.
you want to ask them anything?
Aye.
Which has its benefits.
Aye.
But you prefer it fresh, nobody know. I mean, I like it. I like the fact.
I think it's good because you get other people that do podcasts watch your page and they'll call. I've had folk that have, like, I've had a guest on, they've had the same guest on like the week later, and it runs for like 3-4 weeks, and you're like, fucking think of your own ideas, man.
It's not even that, but you've only got so many stories to tell. But
That's
I've
it.
listened to
Aye.
podcasts. You've had Cy Ferry on here. I've listened to probably 3 or something with him on
Aye.
it, and he does have enough stories to
Aye.
tell. So everyone you're getting different wee snippets, but it's like you're saying. If he's on one 2 weeks after you, then
Aye.
you're going to listen to the first one that has been on.
That's it. And there's that many podcasts out there now, so you're trying to kind of find guests that are different. And like with Scott, the funeral director,
Brilliant.
you're just not going to get folk like that will come out. And I had to hound him for about a month because I think he was like, who's going to want to listen to this?
Aye.
But there's so many folk like that are like, who's going to want to know about that? But most people do, they just don't want to ask.
To be fair, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel the night, aren't you?
He is. That's what
We went one.
That's what about the Glasgow Fair one when there's nobody here, they're all away on holiday.
That's all like top 5, I'm telling you.
Ah, you're right.
You're sitting in the top 10 on audio, so all the housewives have got to see you now. So it's got to push you.
So is it audio?
No,
So I've got a face for audio. Is it not a
Face for
YouTube
the
one?
radio.
No.
Your first one was audio.
Was
I
it
never had the
enough?
studio.
Right enough.
So this is you now. I go, that's George.
I'll go right out the top 10
Up the
now.
rankings.
It's good to know.
Hopefully, like, the cameras don't show my barnet, man. I'll be right down the rankings.
Ultra HD, mate.
Happy
Ultra
days.
HD. Right, I'm going to put you on the spot again. And you might know who've won, but I always ask every guest that comes on if they've ever made not like a massive mistake, but ever had a shocker at their work or had a right moment where they're like, I don't know if I can do this. Don't know if this is for me, and how did you move past it?
I've had, I don't know if this is for me, when I was younger, just because I was missing home so much.
But the working away element.
Aye, but I don't know, I just kind of kept going, and as the more it's probably a lot to do with confidence as well, but the more I got confident that I didn't mind going away as much and started to enjoy my work, and now I do enjoy it, so that's probably the only, I don't want to do this, but probably a lot of people have that when they're starting up a new job and they don't know, they don't have answers for things, but when the answers come, it's a lot more enjoyable because you're comfortable with dealing with anything anybody's got to ask you.
A lot of people chuck it as well though.
Aye.
At that point they're like, first kind of hint of, I don't want to do this, or
Aye.
they're out, but it's hard to push through that.
Aye.
that mental side of it. What about yourself?
Just similar working away.
Long use away for, like, see at a time, like how long can you be?
It just depends. Last year we were quite busy. It just literally depends. It could be times where you're away for 6 weeks,
Aye.
or 2 months or something. Then there could be times where you're home for 2 months, 3 months. Obviously, you're still working.
Aye.
You're working from home at that point, but it's just it differs. So that also makes it a bit harder as well. But same thing. I think if you go for long spells, you kind of missing your pals, missing your bud, missing your family or whatever, or just missing, like doing stuff. And but I think you just need to learn to. You had to make a sort of conscious effort to like appreciate things a bit more.
Aye.
Whether, or even if it's just if I'm away working, having a bit of time for myself, but sort of acknowledging that as this is like a wee hour or something where I'm but it's just that it helps you work in that, because then talk about confidence in that, when you're feeling a certain way, sometimes it's hard to sort of express yourself or whatever, but if I felt with doing that, then it just helped me be taking time for myself, and then in work I could be myself more often, and then it helped a wee bit. So that's, for me, it's just the same, like sort of working away sometimes takes its toll, but not anymore. It was a couple of years ago probably I was struggling a wee bit.
What about yourself, George?
Gary's probably before the join, and it's setting a business up and you're trying to get this new thing approved. I think I said it to you last time, it's you go through all these stages, you think you're getting somewhere, and it's any industry, you've got some innovative product, you think you're getting somewhere, and then the person you're dealing with disappears and you're two steps back, think you're getting somewhere. And that's every stage, even right through the stage where you get it network rail approved, you think I've done it, you haven't. That's the easy bit. The next hard bit is getting somebody with the gonads to use it for the first time. Anything new, because you prove it does what it's meant to do, it doesn't mean everybody's going to use it. You've then got to get somebody brave enough to use it. So all those stages were hard. All those stages were hard because I was skint. I mean, I was skint. I'd been doing this for 4 years and we had no money. I mean, I'm not being funny. At the time, I was divorced from Logan's mum and Martin, Logan's brother. I would go over to get them. I was staying in a flat in the town at the time in Glasgow, and they were over Newton Mearns. And I would go over to get them, and I would say, right, boys, we either cycle back into the town tonight and we stop and get a McDonald's, or we get the train and we don't get a McDonald's. I mean, we were skint.
It was fun, but
Logan, it was fun going to a transport museum every weekend.
Glasgow Green for a kick about with old ski gloves on and all that.
Aye, but it was things you
People don't see that though.
No, but you know what? I'm not saying it was horrible. It was actually good, because you don't need money to enjoy yourself, and there's plenty of folk out there who know that. You just got to think a wee bit different. Walked everywhere, cycled everywhere,
took photos, everything.
Took photos, everything, because we passed the time. We had there was no Sky. We had the odd, what do you call it, Groupon meal out somewhere if we were lucky. A shocker, and it's so that's we were skint. But do you know what? Still family.
I was going to ask, it probably does when you get to the other side of it. You do look back on the points with fondness.
Of course it is, and we're not by any means saying we've got to the other side, because you've still no substitute for working hard. You've seen all the sacrifices, but downside, the parts the boys are saying they don't like away from, I love it. It's my wife now has met me when I was doing this, so she knows what it's like, and I love it. I love meeting new people, meeting new challenges, and they're doing it now as well. They've went through that stage. I'm not going to say they're not going to love being away from home at times again, but been through that stage, and I love it. I love meeting the new people. I love meeting new pals. We're still meeting new pals, and it's all I would say is, whatever business you're in, if you want to be successful, there'll be sacrifices. I'm looking at their pals, probably more Logan's pals are now at that age because they're just all finishing their studies. Big Div, a mate of his, has had to go to Australia for a few weeks and work with his company. You've got Nathan, Logan's mate, who's had to move down to Stevenage to go and work. So you're talking about moving away. There's sacrifices in every job.
It's long-term gain on it, that's the...
Aye, and it's experience, it's gaining experience, it's the different cultures, it's a work ethic, but I don't care what business you're in, where all your social media promotes it or no, you're not going to get anywhere without the hard work and the sacrifices. Certainly not.
Totally agree.
Just going back to that question, sorry, another one that's like fine with it now, and it's a sort of buzzword, but see the imposter syndrome sometimes. See when you're, whether we're all working together or I've just been down and I've been managing a job and it might be a decent sized project, you're looking after 15, 20 guys and all this machinery and stuff, and even though the job gets done, sometimes you sort of think, or I used to when I first came in, you're sort of like, you've played your part in whatever scale. Sometimes you kind of, I used to come away like as if I was detached from it, as if I hadn't been involved, even though I'd been managing the job. That just again, confidence in that gets better, but that was something that I used to struggle with. Just sort of being a wee guy for them Barton and the scheme and that, and you go away down to Wales and it's pushing down and there's 20 guys and all this machinery and you're in charge of them. You sort of think, what am I doing? What am I doing? But just you grow into it, I suppose.
I still get that.
I'm like, who's what? I listen to yours for.
I get that. But then seeing a roundabout way, I think it keeps me focused, because you think, I came for a scheme in Glasgow, like I wouldn't swap it for anything. See what you're saying, like I didn't have anything, but I had everything. How can you miss what you've not got when you're growing up? But now you can sit and you're like, I've got a good job, I've got a good family, I've got a good partner. Should I be in this position? I think that's the thing. But then see, when I'm in work, I think it makes me focus more, because I'm like, I'll make sure nobody takes this away from me, and it makes you work harder. But it's funny you say that. I think that's a Scottish thing.
No chance. I don't think imposter syndrome. I've seen this black American woman doing this speech, knowing the college kids are all graduating. She's done this thing, and she was saying how there's no such a thing as imposter syndrome. It's this thing made up by people who are wanting to put you down. It was brilliant. I seen it on probably one of these social media things, but it was brilliant. And it was imposter syndrome's a thing dreamt up by people who are wanting to put you down, so they get into your head. It was brilliant. There's no, James was saying earlier on, aim for the stars, you might land the moon, whatever these things. But
buzzword after night.
I don't remember him. By everyone I say will be right. I bet he tell you that one. He phoned me up buzzword. He phoned me up one time and went, Dad, tell Matt, sure it's what is it? Road for the better get this road in the show. Better get this road in the show. I went, no, it's
fully serious.
I said, no, it's get the show on the road. Why do you all say get the road in the show? Road in the show. I mean, because you just mix them up deliberately. It's like, oh, you've just cost me 50 quid. So don't take any buzzwords that I say that are right. £50.
Reach for the stars and you might hit the moon.
Is that right? Is it right?
I was saying that right.
Aye, right. Well, remember it. You told me one about the fish.
Aye.
Both of you's got it right.
I know. Oh man.
No, but I tell you something seriously. See all that management jargon, Gary. Oh, that does my tonsils in, honestly. See, you hear your work. You work with a bank, don't you? You hear it all the time. And
love a buzzword.
Oh, I hate it. What was it? No, it was Rebecca. One day, what was in the meeting? What was hers? Okay, I said, look, can you speak to somebody? She went, okay, I'll reach out. And I thought, whoa. No. That was and she said, I'll reach. I went, hold on. We do not reach out. You'll phone, you'll text. I don't care what you'll do, but you do not reach out. And then James was like, Big Terry, Ready Power, guys that deal with our machines that go on the track. I was like, we speak about, I'll touch base with Terry next. I'm like, hold on, James.
MegaTech teach them professional.
Hold on. We do not touch base. We do not. So, I hate it. Even in football, you get through, the buzzword to do is collaboration. Collaboration's everywhere. We were on a wee contractual update course the other day. You've got to keep up to date with legislation and contracts and all that. We were on one the other day, and it's collaboration now. But collaboration now it used to be partnering. But partnering used to be working together. So it's, you get into football and it's recycled when they put the ball back in again.
Why horrendous shout?
Why have they got to? Why all the buzzwords? So, but certainly no. In meetings, no. We do not. Keep it simple.
But no touching base.
No touching base. What was your
You're
one?
definitely not ahead of the curve. You
Ahead of the curve. I'll keep ahead of the curve. I'm like, yo, what?
Blue sky thinking, that's another
There
one.
you
You're like,
go.
what does that mean?
Honestly, don't come to me
I've
with
never
them.
heard of that.
Blue sky, no, it's
Blue sky
aye.
thinking.
Aye. Don't. That's an old one.
You
You
need to
better
think
cover
above
it.
the clouds, or not a clue, mate.
I'll not be saying that one anyway. To be fair.
What would you, if you could, hypothetically, what would you change about your industry? If you could change anything?
I don't know the right word, but like barriers or attitude towards our system. That's
Right.
not the right word. I don't know what word I'm looking for. but
Obstacles to innovation. As
Aye,
it says me use the wide.
buzzword again.
I don't know. But that's the same.
No,
You're
but I
going
just
to
mean, like,
barriers, obstacles. There you go.
But just the obstacles, like, just because it's polystyrene, a lot of people, you need to convince people, which I suppose Steve Jobs had to convince folk that instead of using a landline, you use this wee daft thing you hold on your phone that can go on the internet and all that. This comes with any sort of innovation, I would say, but that is what I would change, is like maybe a bit more optimism towards a new system, rather than, I think it's like old fashioned way of thinking, like bricks and mortar is the only way to do it, which is not so much anymore. But I would just say a bit more optimism towards a new system, not just ours, like GRP stuff, like I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like just anything like a new fence design, a new paint for the yellow line, anything, just a bit more optimism, and rather than dismissal right away kind of thing.
Do you still get the dismissal even now? Or is it?
Aye,
does it
not
get
as
easier?
often, because we've got the work to prove it works, and a lot of people, like my dad says a lot, and James says, it was in our presentation actually, we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, but it takes people to see you doing it to
buy into
understand and buy into it. Aye.
Aye.
But actually they listen to you sometimes.
I don't mind saying that.
But it's true, like people need to see new things to believe it, because it does sound too good to be true at times. But just more optimism, I would say, in general.
Nice.
On you go.
I would say innovation, definitely a big thing. What was my point going to be there? Lost my trail of thought.
I'll go in while you're there. I'll give you time to think. I'll give you time to think. When that's right. Innovation. That's the same in every industry. It's a guy who told me years ago. It's the IBM thinking when what's his name, Lord Sugar came out with, was it Amstrad?
Aye.
Guys would he'd say this Amstrad does the same as that IBM, half the price, and the buyers would go, no, I'm going with IBM because that's tried and trusted, and I know that'll do it. There's no risk there. So it's that's where that. But what would I change about the industry? Probably no much. No much. It's getting there. It's getting there in every way. It's getting there in every way. Same as it's getting there. Sometimes slowly. In our industry, Gary, they have these control periods. They change every 4 or 5 years. They're probably doing it longer now. What you tend to find, like the old council thing, where the end of the year it would die down a bit, and then the new year kicked off. It every 4 or 5 years, you see that on the railway where things die down a wee bit. We're a small company. It doesn't affect us much. But the bigger companies have got teams of guys sitting about, the work's dying down, and it could be the best part of a year. 6 months for the old bit, 6 months wait for the new one to take off, where you've got these guys sitting about, some of them get made redundant, they're lost to the industry, and you tend to find with any good industry, I mean the lorry drivers, when there was all the hassle during COVID, when you lose them, they're gone. When they're gone and you lose them, you don't get them back. So I would maybe change that, but again, it's been addressed and they are dealing with it. But I wouldn't change it. I love it. It's why I've been doing it now. Well, I've been doing it since a lot longer than the business, but the business has been going, this will be the 15th year, and I love it. I love what we do. I love the challenges. I love the, what do you call it, obstacles to innovation? Logan was saying, aye, the barriers, the barriers, and the bar. I love all that.
Aye.
I love when people come and say, oh, I can't use that because and you, James will get in there with a photograph or a video, go, well, there's where it's been done. So I love all that. I love the challenges. So I probably wouldn't change much. That'll give you time to think.
Only thing other than what they've already said would be, it could be a bit more open. So I found a I've been trying to look to just see what's happening in the new stations, platforms and that are coming up for getting designed and that. And it was good to see jobs which were penciled in for this year. There was maybe sort of 3 or 4 high profile jobs and we were involved in 2 of them. But see when they went to like, there's wee extensions and stuff here, there was maybe 15, 20 jobs. And obviously some of them we've heard about, people have contacted us to look at with them, but 70% of work you don't really hear about until after the fact.
Aye.
And even when you go looking for stuff, it's as if it's kind of like gate-kept a wee bit,
Aye.
and people are trying to keep it all in their wee area.
Aye,
But-
like a Pals Act.
Aye. Well, not a PALS Act, I don't know, but it could just be
They don't
easier.
talk to each
Aye.
other.
Aye, don't-
Aye.
They don't talk to each other. It's because Network Rail's massive. But I mean, sometimes, literally, I was going to a meeting one time with Transport for London, and I was going to do and meet them, whatever, Little France or Wee Paris or something, right beside Buckingham Palace. There's an underground there. I was meeting them there, and as I was travelling down, this guy phoned me from Transport for London about a Farringdon or some station in London. And I went, look, where are you based? I'm actually just going to meet 2 guys for. He went, oh, who are you going to meet? And I went, oh, Jeannie Smith and what is it?
Hector
McClumford.
Hey.
Hector McClumford. I said, I'm just going to meet them. He went, oh, they sit opposite me. That is what happens.
Aye.
And so that was the same desk, the same office. Did they talk to each other?
Right.
That happens worldwide.
Aye.
We still guys who think our system's new. It's been approved for 11 years, 12 years. It's been approved. By the way, we've done, what, over 100
kilometres.
platforms, 11 kilometres. Never done a station in Scotland.
Not one single metre.
No?
No, so there you go. There's some obstacle to innovation in
Aye.
Scotland. Never done a station in Scotland, and it's Scottish company, all Scottish employees. We're fencing company Scottish.
No chat as to why, or if you
Materials
never have...
based in Scotland.
We've tried to find out at times, don't know. And Gary, it gets to the stage where no matter, Logan's saying there's people who are curious and
Aye.
obstacles, and you said it about everything, people want to find fault.
Aye.
I'd rather, we're just doing a couple of jobs in Cardiff. They're big jobs for us. One of them's 200 metres long by 16 metres wide. It's like a runway. Cardiff Bay platform, a new station at Butetown, 2 platforms, 130 metres long by 5 metres wide. For us, they're millions of pounds. Brilliant. They design our system to be done. They want to use it. They've seen it. They want to use it. They love it. Everybody's positive. Why would we want to go and do a wee 20 metre extension in the back of beyond in Scotland where people are wanting to find fault with it? Because they'll find fault with it. So it gets to the stage where you're thinking, look, no, maybe we're better no. Maybe we're better no. But it's quite embarrassing. It's quite embarrassing when in the last year we've done 12 platforms in Wales. For Abergele in the north right down to, I don't know, what was it, Warngrond Park, down near Cardiff, right down there, all over. We've worked in Devon, we've worked in
Brighton, Liverpool.
Brighton, no, right down to, what was it, Dover, Sandwich, for
Surely
Royal.
you're thinking somebody in one of these companies in Scotland has gone, look at what these guys are doing, why are we not looking at this for platforms?
What was
Maybe.
Maybe.
And that's the barriers
Maybe.
you're talking about, maybe
Aye,
that's
maybe.
Another one, just adding to what you were saying, we've been invited to Australia. Queensland Rail asked us to come over to look at like sort of major infrastructure project they're doing there. But
You
so
can't
we're
get some-
travelling
that's
the other
wild.
side of the world to look at work,
Aye.
and we can't build 1 metre a platform in our own country. Where we're-
That's just embarrassing, and I don't know if that's an obstacle, innovate, or what it is,
Aye.
but it's these are the things. It used to be that was a challenge that we wanted.
Aye.
To do. Now we don't. You want to go. What was I was listening to today? Who was it? Who wanted to sign somebody? Somebody's talking about Harry Kane. How when he signed for Bayern Munich and Man United were maybe interested. It was on TalkSport today, and the guy went, "If Man United really wanted him, they'd have got him. It's just Bayern Munich put their arm around." It was Ted. What's his name? Used to manage. Played with Blackburn.
Sherwood.
Tim Sherwood said, no, I know him. If Man United give him a bigger hug and says, we really want you, the way Bayern Munich done, they'd have got them. I'd rather go where people are wanting to hug us and help with the issues and get it done than find fault. So
But the work speaks for itself, doesn't it? So you shouldn't be then having to chase.
Aye. Well, no.
Aye, that's the... Aye.
But that's it. But that's, I will leave it.
That's mental that you've got like Australian companies, but nothing.
You
That's
looked in
wild.
Italy as well, didn't you?
over that years ago. I love it. You go to Rimini. I was over in Rimini years ago, and I think this was when Big Lafferty was playing. Where was he playing?
Palermo.
There you go, Palermo. And I'm over, and I'm doing NTV or something. They've got a super fast train as well. I think it's 300 kilometres an hour. So I'm on this thing with these two Italian, but by the way, they could wear a bin bag, Gary. And these two boys are. I'm over there with my best suit on. I look like, I don't know what I look like. I look like something out of Marlin or something, honestly. I had my Slaters man on as well. And I was away, and they came out with a pair of jeans and a pair of... Anyway, so cool as hell.
It's just Italy, innit?
Oh, so I'm doing here, I don't know where, was it Bologna or sort of... No, that's not that. Where we went to this train, then we went out to Rimini to look at this station. We never got it. It was the local mayor ensured it was a local company that got it. But you know what? They cared about us. They wanted to go and see. That was interesting. We've had inquiries from New Jersey at times looking at stuff. We looked at stuff in Canada with Department for Transport. We're looking at stuff with governments and that abroad. And, nothing in Scotland. James says it's embarrassing. The Australia one was good because that was business, which meant we could stop off in Dubai in a way back.
I got it was brilliant.
We got a wee trip in Dubai, but the VAT man or the tax man doesn't listen to us, does he? That was business.
Aye, always.
Oh man, what about loads of folk watch this that are obsessed with businesses, whether they've got their own or they want to start one, or it's just something that they've got an interest in. But from a family business point of view, what advice would you give? Because you're in it, you're living it, based on obviously coming in at the bottom, working your way up. What advice would you give to people who are maybe sitting going, well, we've got an idea, maybe we want to do it in the family? What would you say based on your experiences?
I'd say go for it, aye.
Try it.
Go for it. Obviously we talk about pressures and you fall out sometimes, but I'd say over the course it makes your relationship better, I'd say.
I would also say nothing even to do with family, but just be sound, like what James was saying earlier, because it's no hard, and ties in with what my dad was saying. Talk to people, you can make connection. One guy who's no involved in railways, mate, could be a senior guy in Network Rail for all you know, and just because you've been sound and spoke to the guy for 2 minutes, then you might have potential work. And even if it's no got any value in it for you, just be sound, man. It's no hard.
Gary, I'd just say, don't be scared to ask for help.
No,
again, whether it's family or no, don't be scared. People will help you. I remember slightly different, but it's in when I was playing football and I was at Queen of South, I was 29. I became the manager at 29. Rowan Alexander was manager. They'd sacked him, hadn't planned anything, so I became the manager. And a mate of mine at the time, a guy Bill Leckie, was working with his son and all that, and I'm like, what do I do here? A bit like James saying, you come in and you're put into management, and I'm like, I need to get players on loan. At that time it was guys like Paul Sturrock at the D Night, Sandy Clark, Bobby Williamson, and that, and Bill said to us, phone them up. It's funny you say there on, he says, see, the bigger the name, the easier you will find them to speak to. I'm phoning them up, Jan Leishman at Livingston. I'm phoning them up, all right, Geordie son, you're doing a great job down there. Now, he had no idea who I was, but he made me feel brilliant, and he was brilliant. So the biggest thing I say is, don't be scared to ask for help, and ask everybody. You see all these managers, and younger managers will be speaking, you hear them now, do you speak to anybody? I'll phone Alec Ferguson and Walter Smith. Everybody phone Walter Smith. I'll phone Walter Smith down again. And don't be scared. Don't be scared to ask for help. It's no sign of weakness, and people will help you just because they can and because they've been there. I got it. People help me not for any financial gain. They help me because they could, and we do the same. We probably help people. I watch them helping people without them realising it. Brilliant way they go about it. We had a guy, our job's pressure. I'm jumping onto tangents or not here. Our job's pressure, and Logan's doing one time. Now, Logan was young, 3 or 4 years ago, and at this time, we need banksmen. If you're lifting stuff with a machine, you need somebody who's qualified to how to lift it up properly. The boy that came out was his first shift, and he's saying, look, this is my first shift. So right away Logan goes, look, that's all right. I'll talk to him. He knew more about it than the guy.
Aye.
I'll talk to you. It's an older man, and he's talking them all through and all that. And I'm like, wait, it's that, Dad. It's always somebody's first shift sometime. And I'm watching them, a young boy doing that, where I'd have been, we need somebody in here. And it's great seeing how you deal with it.
But it goes back to what you say about that guy could be brilliant, but if he had a bad experience there, you lose him forever.
Aye.
Gets home at night, he's like, I'm not doing that again, I'm done with it. Whereas he gets home and he goes, do you know what, that boy helped me through that, and I feel a bit better about the
What
job.
I mean is being sound.
Aye.
Like it just all ties in, to be fair, everything we've kind of spoke about. But I could have went mental to the guy and said, get us another banksman, we need somebody who knows what they're doing. But then 10 years time he could be on a job and, for example, somebody's looking at different systems, he says, what about MegaTech, just because he remembers that we dealt with him soundly. So you don't know where it. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, but you got on well with somebody, so it's not going to.
You've done the right thing, 100%. I'm curious, I'll finish up with this one. What would you all be doing job-wise if he's weren't working in MegaTech?
If it wasn't for Manny's, I'd be playing for Rangers, so aye.
What would you be doing?
Playing for Rangers.
Playing for Rangers?
Aye. Nah, no chance. Don't know. Something to do with sport probably, because that's what I'm into.
Right.
Studied sport development at uni, enjoyed it. That was like, that is a pure buzzword for a uni course, but it's basically just like looking at budgets you get for a council, going into deprived areas with a plan and trying to improve the statistics of sport participation, reduce health statistics, bad health statistics, can't even speak. But that all helps with work, because it's just the way you look at something. You've got a budget, this is what you're trying to do. So it helped, but probably something like that, just try to improve a deprived area. Not even a deprived area, but just improve health and sport participation in some capacity.
Nice. Be yourself.
I genuinely have no idea. I think
You're still waiting that careers officer.
I know. Wait till she retires so I win for a position, man. She's changed my life. I think
Reach for the stars.
it was. I genuinely don't know. When I left uni, it was just that's that done. Time to sort of rest, and then I got this opportunity. So I don't know. I didn't even have time to think, really. My Uncle George said, you want to come for a couple of shifts? I said aye, and still here. And
It developed, didn't it? It wasn't a plan, it wasn't
no, I first came in, couple of shifts, and then it was I came in as a management graduate, gradually worked myself up, gradually worked up in the business to being general manager, and I really enjoy it. Like a couple of years ago, or maybe a few years ago, when I was talking about the stuff which harder stuff was struggling, but something like what Logan was saying, as you get more responsibility, you get more enjoyment of that, like buzzwords, and that was a thing you were talking about in uni, but it's something, the only thing I learned from my business degree was like Maslow's hierarchy of needs and self-actualisation.
Oh God.
I genuinely see as that, like, as
Have you done that yet?
Aye.
as I get more responsibility, then enjoy it more. I couldn't see myself doing anything else now. Well, again.
But I think as you climb that though, and you get more responsibility, you know you can do it as you go, so you do get the confidence to be like, this is where I should be, this is.
I also
my
feel
place.
like, along the lines of what you're saying though, if you build management skills in any walk of life, then you could survive in any job in management, because you know the main part is like dealing with people. So I feel like James says he doesn't know what he's doing, but he could go and do anything, and if he was a manager he'd be good at it. I know that because I've seen him dealing with people. But I like, that's what I wanted to say. I feel like if you've got management skills, you could.
Well, that was who was a guy that was head of the FA England at one time, and he used to be head of the post office or something. Remember him? Oh, that's what it is. He transferred it to Eton.
Oh, was it no the rugby?
No, it was
That was a
Rugby's
recent
with
one.
Clive
The
Woodward
rugby.
was
Aye,
Southampton
Man U.
for the England
Sorry.
rugby team.
Man U just brought a guy in who was like some rugby guy.
No, he was a
last season or
cyclist. He was a
Aye.
So it's he
crossovers.
But many times, Gary, I thought it was tough to go back and get a real job when I was trying to develop a business, when I had no money coming in. And no matter how much money you've got in the bank, when you've no money coming in, your bank account's only going one way. I thought it was tough to go back and charter surveyor. I've always worked in commercial. I thought I'd have to go back and get a real job. I couldn't imagine James and Lona talking about all the sacrifices, and I watch them. Me and Stevie are older. We get the respect.
Aye.
Age, you get respect anyway, because folk automatically assume you do know. But I watch them, and the respect they get is unbelievable. And I stop myself from saying respect for their age. Respect is nothing.
Yeah.
Respect is given, receiving. I watch the two of them. They are so respectful. I say the two of them. I'm talking about Rebecca as well. Me and Stevie are older. We're different. But they three, respect is given, but it's earned. They're so respectful to the people they're working with. Everybody. I watch them. As soon as you go to a job, as soon as you get in the gate, the guy in the gate, they know him. They know him. They know about their family. The MD, the company, they'll know them. They'll know about their family. Everybody. And they give the respect, they get the respect because they know what they're doing. I always say to people, we're good at what we do. We're not interested in doing anything else because we don't know it. Good at what we do. And I watch them. I would hate to go back and do a real job.
Aye.
We are hell for leather. James is saying 6 weeks, 8 weeks, we could be away from home. And we are working. Back up the road, we get to go and watch Rangers. He'll tell the time of this podcast because we're just about to go to Lisbon. And then
You going?
you going?
Nah.
Part-timer.
Part-timer, man.
Oh, wait, no, big time game.
How do you want me to edit this podcast?
Turn my camera off, please.
We'll get to go to that, and then Martin, my other boy, who's the only one that's known in the industry or in the business. Martin, believe it or not, is a nursery teacher.
Right.
That's another complete, and we are so jealous of him because of what he's decided to do. But it's his stag do next weekend, so we're away to Lisbon, and we're going straight to his stag do. So it's
nice.
play hard.
Aye.
But then when we're doing to work, we work. The rest of the world turns off when we're working. So I love it, and I would hate to go back and do a real job, whatever a real job is.
Amazing. I've actually enjoyed this. Really enjoyed it. It's good to get the
Top 10.
top 5, mate. I'm going top.
We'll be the top.
Reach for the stars.
We'll be the top 111. We'll be the top
2 and you go
111.
8th. It's been good to actually get the dynamics of how a family business works, because you only learn so much from the outside. Looking at a business, you might go, that business is successful, they all seem to be doing well, but it's good to actually get underneath that and talk to all yous and find out how it works. And you do have arguments, you do fall out, but you regroup at the end of each job and you go again, and it's as if it didn't happen. But